What's it like being a new father?
It's tiring. No sleep. He get a lot of sleep. I don't, but it's fun.
What did you have?
Boy, boy, Jerome the third.
All right, that's cool. And where was this at? What town?
This was in. That was a Rainbow Hospital, I think, closer to downtown.
Here?
Yep, Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you were here when you were away from the Greenbrier.
Mm-hmm.
How does that change your life and your perspective on your role in his life?
Just making sure that I'm always there, even with football, making sure I'm setting a good example. And, I'm playing for not only the front of my jersey, the Browns, I'm also playing for my last name, too, and my legacy.
Do any of the other dads on the team giving you some advice, talk to you about it?
Oh, yeah, Joe, Wyatt, a lot of advice from those guys.
Is this your first one?
Second.
Okay, second. How do you balance training camp with also now father of two, you have a newborn, how do you make all that work?
Sleeping in a different room. that's what I do. When I get home, I try my best to help. On my off days, I try my best to help. And then, when it's time to go to sleep, I definitely sleep in another room.
You talk about how it changes things playing for the name on the back of your jersey, carries a little bit more weight being a father. What's the difference? When you started off playing football, you were just playing for yourself, now playing for your family. What's the difference in that?
I feel like even back then I was still playing for my family, but even more so now knowing that somebody has to grow up wearing the same last name as me, and I have to set an example.
Jerome, do you feel you're still catching up, or are you where you wanted to be? After missing 3 days or whatever it was.
I feel like I'm caught up well. Duce does a good job at conditioning us, making sure that we go hard in practice, so that when it's time for the game, we'll be ready.
Are you one of the guys that expects to play against Green Bay?
That's probably a coach to fancy question. We're still waiting on that.
What are you looking to bring the run game this year?
More juice and energy, probably more celebrations. Looking to have more fun with our running back room. Just a lot of energy.
Where do you feel the run game is at right now? Not just you, but just collectively your group.
I feel like we're all clicking, competing. I feel like we've all been getting better lately.
What did you learn last year being the number one back?
I learned a lot. I learned that preparation is key, and making sure you prepare mentally and physically are the keys to having success.
From what we've seen, there is a lot of empty formation in this offense. So how do you feel about lining up at the line of scrimmage rather than in the backfield?
I feel good about it. Whatever it takes, wherever they put us, we're ready to play it, and we're excited about the opportunity to be able to line up wide.
Is that accurate? There is a lot, or am I exaggerating how much empty we're going to see?
You just telling me what you saw, so I'm responding to what you saw.
Hey, Jerome, we hear Coach Staley out there. I just wonder, what's it like working with him? What kind of impact has he had on you?
It's been great working with him. He done brought a lot of juice, energy, and competition to the room. We compete every day, talk trash to each other every day, but it's all good-hearted. Like I said before, he one of those dudes who he don't want you to run through a brick wall for him. He wants you to be there when he runs through the brick wall first, to run behind him.
How do you feel you did in place of Chubb last year?
I think I did decent. It's always more work to do, and I feel like there's a lot of places that I can get better.
When you talk about getting better, what was maybe one or two things that you really focused on to elevate your game going into this season?
Pass protection and knowing my blocking scheme and running the ball.
What's that like knowing, everybody says you prepare as if you're the starter, but you really went from being the backup to starter in one play. What was that like?
It was a great experience. Being thrown in that fast, you never know what's going to happen. And, my preparation ended up propelling me into, being able to be ready for that situation.
What does your pregame playlist look like?
Sheesh. All right. A lot of NBA YoungBoy, real DMX, some of those type guys.
Give me your top 5 artists of all time.
All time. Kendrick Lamar, number 1. I ain't gonna do all time. I'm gonna just do right now. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake, kinda, I like Kodak because I'm from Florida, and it was Meek Mill, but he kinda pushed it, We go Meek Mill.
What's your take on Chubb right now? Is he in good spirits? Where do you see him get on the field anytime soon?
Oh, yeah, Chubb, he always in good spirits. Chubb got like a real dog mentality. he might be out, but he's still getting that same work in that he was before. Still, like you saw on Instagram, still lifting heavy weights. I don't think nothing changed about Chubb. He still got that same dog in him that he had when he was playing.
He wasn't able to be out on the field with you, but how did he kind of help bring you along throughout as the season went on, and even into this offseason as he's out here watching you guys in training camp?
Just like if he was playing, he still watched the film, and whenever I come to him after the game, he'll let me know, like, this is what you could have done differently. This is where you can get better, so start looking at this and working on that.
Obviously, the big news has been the stadium renderings that came out from Brook Park. Have you gotten a chance to look at it, and what did you think of them if you did?
They look nice, but we play whether it's on the lake, Brook Park. You know, we leave that kind of like what happens with that up to the higher ups. We just want to play.
Hey, Jerome, what is your other child's boy or girl?
Girl.
Right.
I just surprised you at all seeing Chubb's progress at this point after suffering such a traumatic injury.
Oh yeah, of course. Just seeing how he works and how he takes everything on. Like even from the time he got hurt up until now, you haven't really seen him duck his head or really worry about it too much. He just put his head down and work, and you can see it every day.
Obviously, Nick has been there for you guys in that running back room. How have you guys played a role in being there for him while he's going through the second of one of these injuries?
Just kind of making checking in on him in the off season, like you good, you okay, and he always gonna tell you yeah. But I think it's always good to make sure. Just keeping the energy up with him, laughing and joking, because he does the same with us. So like nothing's honestly changed with Chubb mentally. He just, like I said, he's the same dog, he's the same person, and he's gonna be ready to go.
Does it feel like we've talked a lot this offseason about Ken Dorsey coming in as the new offensive coordinator? From your perspective, does it feel like you have a new offensive coordinator?
Of course, Coach Dorsey, he brings a lot of energy. As you can see, our offense changing a little bit. It's definitely a difference with Coach Dorsey.
It's been like working with Jameis. Kind of what has been getting to know him like?
It's been fun. I was a Tampa Bay fan when Jameis was in Tampa, so being able to see everything like on TV from a fan's perspective, and then seeing it in person is like, man, this dude is the same person that you see every day on TV. He's the same person off the field too. He's a great guy.
Hey, are you still in the mix on kickoff return?
Yeah, yep. Whatever Bubba need me to do, I'm back there returning, run down, whatever he need me to do, I'm there.
You really seemed to thrive in that role last year. How different is that going to be this year with the new rules and just kind of we don't know what's going to happen?
Honestly, like you said, we don't know. The new rule is kind of crazy, and Bubba doing a good job at preparing us for what we're going to see when we play different teams, and how the rules are and what we need to do.
We haven't seen any yet, but are there exotic kick return plays drawn up that you guys will eventually practice?
Right now, we're just doing the basics of learning the actual play itself, what we can and can't do, how things look. We haven't really talked about much like that.
Can you think of anything comparable? Like, this just seems like such a big rule change. Is there anything comparable that you can think of in any of your years playing football that you've gone through?
Not really.
Yeah.
This is different. It's really going to be different when it's time to play Madden. So I'm not really looking forward to that.
Since it encourages returns, so you must be loving it, though. Right?
Oh yeah, of course. Anything that we can do to get the ball in our hands, we love.
Did you have a chaotic story with your firstborn, like getting out there and making it just in time? Or what was the story with your daughter?
Oh yeah, I was at the Reese's Bowl at the time, and I was told that my girlfriend at the time was going into labor, and I needed to pretty much fly that day. Well, not even that day. I think it was at 3-4 o'clock in the morning that I had to fly. I actually had to drive. I think it was 3 hours to New Orleans, catch a 6 a.m. flight to Tampa, and it was pretty hectic, but I was able to make it.
What's her name? You made it in time?
Yep.
And was this one a little bit calmer?
Yeah. She slept pretty good through the night.
What's her name?
Kalani.
Good.
Thank you.
Jerome just said pass protection and blocking is something that he really needs to improve upon. After you looking at the highlights from last year of him and seeing what he is now, have you seen improvement?
No doubt. That's something that he's getting better with. We talk about it all the time in the room, not just him, everybody. You got to be able to protect the quarterback. Of course, every running back wants the ball, they want to run the ball, but it's all about what you're doing when you don't have the ball. Everything from running out play actions and protecting the quarterback. So we take pride in doing that.
Jerome was just saying that you're not necessarily asking him to run through a wall, but you want him to be there when you run through the wall. How important is it for you to kind of set that tone every day for your football?
Jerome got that wrong. he gonna have to run through the wall too. We're gonna run. Yeah, no doubt. We're gonna run through it together. Well, you know, it's. Yeah, I know. I'm just joking right now. And they understand. We all set the standard in our room, and nothing compromised that standard that we set. So we're gonna go to work every day as running backs. We're gonna turn cracks in the holes. We're gonna protect, like we just talked about. We're gonna catch the ball, put it away, and finish.
Is it difficult to run drills and keep everybody engaged through a whole season?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah. How difficult is it to run drills and not have them become boring?
It's not difficult at all. It's their job. And if they're bored, then they'll find another job.
Duce, how different is the training at your position than it was when you played?
I think that it hasn't changed. I just think about the commitment that they give. You know, back then, of course, you could do a little bit more with 2-a-days, more padded practices. I get that part. But the mindset from the running back position never changed. It shouldn't anyway.
So many of your guys obviously getting looks at that kick returner role on special teams. Everything is so different this year with these rule changes. Just what has that been like for you guys as a staff to kind of get your heads together and figure out, you know, best options?
Yeah, it's been awesome, honestly, simply because, you know, you get more opportunities to make this team. We understand the rules, they understand the rules, and as a running back, you get a chance to go back there and be that returner with this new way of doing things. So I think those guys are licking their chops for the opportunity, and I'm happy for them.
Duce, there's no doubt that the running game is going to look a little different, at least to us, than it did previously here. Did you and Roy Eastvan contribute to the formation of the running game we're going to see?
Yeah, you know, it's still run where they're not and throw where they ain't, you know, regardless. And as far as the run game itself is football. You know what I'm saying? We're going to just impose our will. We're going to get behind our good line that we have, and we're going to run the ball downhill.
We can hear you out there.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the beginning.
We can hear you out there, like every play, making sure they finish the plays and really coaching them up vocally. Why is that so important to you, to be that kind of coach and to be so loud out there on the field for them?
I mean, this is who I've been all my career playing and also as a coach. I live vicariously through them. I wish I was them. I wish I could still play. I tell these guys all the time, even defensive guys, when you're making a sack, I just made it too. Quarterback, when you just threw a bomb, I just threw it too. So I'm running down the field with you. So just being able to have that juice, that energy, and our players feed off of that. I was once a player. I remember my coach having it. I would feed off the energy that he brings. Because we know walking through those doors sometimes, you know, they get in their heads a little bit, all right, this is a tough day or it's hot, whatever, man. You got to go to work. It's all about winning.
What coach was the most influential on you?
I had a bunch of them, man. I just don't want to just single out one. I mean, everybody from Andy Reid to Bill Cowher, my high school coach. So I had a bunch of good coaches.
What are your thoughts on Aiden so far in camp? What have you seen from him?
Business approach. You know, he comes in the building with a hard hat, and he got a sledgehammer, and he's ready. He's learning. One of the smartest definitely in the room. Being able to help others at a young age, which is awesome. He's taking great notes. You know, just being able to take in the room what he's learning onto the field, and that's what he's doing well.
What's your thoughts on Chubb at this point, Chubb?
What my thoughts on him? Oh, I love him. You watch the play around here, right? You love him?
Oh, yeah.
I love him too.
I mean, in his present situation, is he getting closer?
I don't talk injuries. You got to ask coach about that.
Just seeing him on the sidelines a lot when you guys, Chubb, sorry.
Okay.
Seeing him on the sidelines a lot, talking to guys. What's that like to just kind of have his presence around still? As he
his energy and juice, man, is unbelievable. I know you guys don't get a chance to see nothing but the smile and the hard work ethic, but in our room, he brings energy, he brings leadership, and he brings juice, which I love being around.
I think coming back from an injury like that, seeing the videos online of him squatting, I think some people might take that for granted because you're just like, oh, it's Nick Chubb. He can do freak things. He's a freak athlete. But truly, how difficult is it to come back from what he's come back and what he's been able to push through?
Once again, I don't really want to talk about the injuries. I just see Nick right now in the present form, and he comes in here, he goes to work, he comes in the meeting rooms, he gives all his energy and attention to those guys, making sure they're getting better, and he's also getting better with the new system. So that's what we want from him right now as we speak.
Just when you were going through those 2-a-days when you played, do you think that made you guys tougher as football players, or then I'm not saying these guys aren't tough, but did that really,
What are you saying? what are you trying to say?
I'm just wondering if Did that make you guys tougher than like in this era with no pads?
We're living in a different day and different time, and we all know that. So, and mentally, these guys are going to wherever they go to these academies back home, and they're training. We understand the rules, and we abide by the rules, and we respect the rules. But they know when they have to put in extra work, and that's what I admire about these guys.
You've won both as a player and a coach the Super Bowl. Just curious, that championship mentality, what does it take to make it through the season? Not only that, playoffs, to go all the way.
Yeah, you got to work hard when the lights are off, when nobody's watching. You got to continue to have that championship mentality, just continue to have that focus and direction when nobody's watching. So when the lights come on, it's easy. So I want to win again and again at a high level. That'll never stop. That's in my gut.
And preaching that to these guys, are they taking it in? What is it? How do you read the room to know your guys are actually listening?
Yeah, you read the room by the way they come out here and work. Because they're not listening, they're not taking the teaching, they wouldn't work as hard as they do.
Duce, sorry I couldn't ask about him already. I wasn't here at the beginning, but
Say again, I'm sorry.
sorry if you've been asked about him already. I wasn't here at the beginning, but being around Jameis Winston in this offense, what does he bring to the entire group,
Yeah,
even your guys?
Right, he brings leadership. He brings that guy that walks in the room that everybody respects. He knows the offense. He's talking to everybody from the linemen to the defensive side of the ball to the kickers. You see his energy out there, and it's contagious. I love Jameis.
Hey, Duce, there was a time when running backs were kind of the star players in this league, and it's kind of, not that the position's been diminished, but kind of minimized in some people's eyes. Do you see it coming back around again at some point?
Who knows?
I mean, it's gonna be important.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that question, but I tell my guys all the time, whenever you get an opportunity, just take full advantage of it. We talk about character in our room, and character is what you do without the ball. So if you don't have the ball, knock somebody out. Run the right route, be a good decoy. And then when you do get a chance to get the ball, showcase your skills. So, I understand as far as this league, this time that we're in, it's not like back in the days when, you got all 9 of them in the box and you're running the ball just straight downhill. And sometimes you have opportunity to do that. So it hasn't disappeared, but I understand that we don't see a lot of it. So they respect it, though.
Last one.
What?